Good morning. It's Monday, March 16th, 2020. I didn't get to make a video yesterday. I just had my hands full with the kids all day and didn't really get a chance to just sit and make a video. It was a hard day. I think kind of the stress of a lot of this stuff has started piling up, and the kids were like at each other's throats all day, and I was starting to kind of get a glimpse of exactly how hard this is going to be with them home. And I was also starting to realize that there's like no way they're going to be off for just 2 weeks. If you look at how this virus progresses in other places, China's still locked down. Italy's still in the middle of it in lockdown, and we're a couple weeks behind them. We're in it for the long haul. And I think that they know that. And I think that they just told us 2 weeks to begin with, because it's an amount of time that people could kind of wrap their heads around and not be too panicked over. Because we've seen how panicky people are, what with the crazy toilet paper buying and whatnot. I think that if they had been honest up front and said, okay, schools are closing probably for the next 2 months, people would have just lost their minds, because it's just hard to accept that the things that you take for granted are not going to be what they are. They're not going to be there. They're not going to exist in their current form for a while. You're not going to have that stability to fall back on. So I think that they told us 2 weeks just to kind of get people used to the idea, and then they are probably currently behind the scenes working on more plans for online learning and ways to keep engaged with as many students as possible during a longer period of being out of school. And they'll announce that when they are prepared and have a plan. That's my guess. So yeah, yesterday, just with my kids being at each other's throats, and our house is too small for us. We don't really have any room for people to get away from each other, and they need space. Everybody's just always up on each other, and there's nothing we can really do about that. Fortunately, when the weather's nice, we can get them outside some. But it's going to be really, really hard. And it's hard to keep putting on that positive face for them, to let them know everything's going to be okay, when it's so just crazy stressful and unsettling. And there's a lot that's uncertain at our end too, the financial fallout and that sort of thing. And so for me personally, it was a hard day because I'd been doing okay. I've personally faced a lot of hardships in the last few years. Just one really difficult thing after another, and bad fortune, and it's just been really, really hard. And this felt a little easier, actually, because in all my other struggles, I felt very alone. And there's been a tendency to kind of wonder, why me? Why does these things keep happening to me? What did I do to make God so angry? Everybody else is just living their perfectly fine, normal lives, and yet here I am having awful things happen to me, and no matter how hard I try, I can't fix anything. And it's just very isolating feeling. And now we're actually isolated, but we're all in this together. This is happening to everybody. And so it's been easier for me to sort of stomach in that sense. Like there's this solidarity, and everybody's vulnerable, and everybody's can do their part to help in terms of the social distancing and flattening the curve and all that. And so emotionally, it's been easier for me to handle this than my personal hardships. But this morning, I am sitting in my car, and I'm about to get on the metro to go to work. And every time I go out and every time I get on public transportation, the risk is greater that I will come into contact with the virus than it was the last time, because it's spreading and it's out there. And, it could be the person next to me or the person that touched the train before me. So it's stressful having to go into work and not having a work from home option yet, and not being able to afford to say I'm just not going in. And so it's kind of, in some ways, bringing back up all my own personal struggles. Like, why is my life at this point where I have to literally risk my life to go to work because I don't have another choice? And I know I'm not alone in that. There are a lot of people that still have to go to work in this. Obviously, there's healthcare workers and first responders, and those people are heroes for what they do. But there are also a lot of us who are hourly employees with no paid time off. I have one paid day accrued right now. Who, we'd all be better off if we could stay at home, but bills are still going to come due and we still have to go to work, and it sucks. And I feel like a lot of people who aren't in that situation don't get it, and they really take it for granted how fortunate they are. I'm just feeling a little bitter this morning after seeing some negative comments online, referring to a lot of the families that their kids rely on the public schools for food. Amazingly, there's been this great response to the schools being closed. There are all kinds of organizations that are stepping up, in some cases the school systems themselves, and other organizations too, stepping up and providing meals for families that need them. Right now we can manage to scrape together lunches for our kids, but my kids do get free lunch at school, and it helps us enormously. And just seeing people judging families that are in that situation, implying that the parents must all be on drugs and buying new cell phones before feeding their kids. And it's that kind of ignorant judgment against poor people that I've been hurt by and angered by a lot over the last couple of years. And I just didn't need to see that this morning from someone that I know. It doesn't make the situation any better, and it makes me angry. Anyway, so that's kind of where my feelings are coming from right now, because I read that just this morning, and it's just making a bad situation worse for me emotionally at the moment. So now I have to go to work, and so I got this promotion at work, which is just really awkward timing because, I have to go in and learn new things and interact with people, and I'm not in the frame of mind to do that. But again, I don't have a choice because I can't turn down this opportunity when I haven't had any similar opportunities in a long time. So right now is a really weird and challenging time for me. Sorry if this video ended up kind of negative, but I'm really having a hard time this morning. So I'm gonna go get on the train and hope that nobody around me coughs. Stay healthy and keep breathing.